Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. All consoles, all handhelds, all computer games, and everything in the arcade all over the world. Let's go to the middle of November 1982. We were last in Japan checking out screenshots of Mystery House 2 because some of these ports you can't find anywhere. Let's play some games and see what our next release is. Our next release takes us to the TRS-80, original TRS-80, and this is Panic. Let's check out Panic, starting with the box. Whoa, well done. Look at that artwork, original artwork. And to my knowledge, are they ripping off anything sci-fi, or are they making something up? That's pretty good. I love it. We have an epic gun. We have two guns. We have one on the hip, and then we got these great design for these robotics / aliens. Very nice. This is for Model 1 or Model 3. Flip it over the back. They got an example of the screenshot in the top left. This is by Fantastic Software and William DeMar. High-resolution graphics, of course it does, because every game has to boast high-resolution graphics. 1 or 2 players, and we got some story there too. Oh yes. Joystick compatible, I love to hear that as well. I think we got other things besides that. Oh yeah, we have this. This is the story. It's been 2 weeks since the Mazors have invaded Earth. It took them 3 days to lay waste and conquer Earth, and now Earth's inhabitants have been taken to Mazor slave labor sites on distant planets. You and you alone, that's the way I like it, are going to save the world. All mankind is depending on you. Your mission is rid the galaxy of the Mazors forever. They're very intelligent because they're half animal, half machine. That's freaking sweet. That's awesome. And then there we go. Inside sleeve tells us even more loading instructions, the joysticks that work with this, and sound and vocal effects, which is awesome on the TRS-80. There's the game instructions. Our mission is to destroy as many Mazors as possible. We have 3 warriors at our disposal. The play is operated with arrow keys or joystick, and we're going to use that. Use the fire button to fire your pistol or laser. A through G can also be used to fire the pistol. Player cannot shoot while on a ladder. Oh, darn. Facing left or right, transported pack will cause the player to dissolve and reappear at random points. Enter key activates the transported pack. Don't forget about that. There's our 5 1/4 floppy disk, which I believe, is that a fabrication or is that a real? I guess they just slapped the sticker on the side with an example of the screenshot. You'd think that, wouldn't you? Let's pop in and play Panic. William DeMar, Fantastic Software. It is November 15th, 1982. And I wouldn't have it any other way. All right, I bet we just get a load with this. And by the way, this load for the TRS-80 is not the true load for right now in 1982. This is far too easy. This is our 138th game we've played on the original TRS-80. Bring it on, more games. Fantastic Software, this is the 3rd game we've seen by Fantastic Software. They did things like Hyper Light Patrol or The Talking Adventure 1, the one that just was straight up talking to us. So this game better talk. I want to hear it sing. And William DeMar, this is the 5th game we've seen by him, and most of them have been Golden Voyage ports. All right, here we go. We can do 1 or 2 players. You don't get to play at the same time, though. 1 at a time, just like an arcade.
Warning, warning, intruder alert. Warning, warning.
That's what I'm talking about. So cool. Okay, we are in and we are moving. I have shots at the top, number of mins, player 1, and then I want to destroy as many Mazors as possible. I can climb ladders, I can fire, yeah, there's my shot, but we have a limited supply. Okay, so I can pick up more. It looks like it's little piles of shots. Where did that alien go? I missed him. But you can make your way up and down ladders. It's very, very reminiscent of some other video games that we refer to as fixed platformers. In other words, it's a platformer that has no running and jumping. It is just walking around and moving. Some of the biggest fixed platformers we played up to this point have been stuff like Space Panic, Bellhop that was on the Apple II, and Burger Time. But this one has the gun mechanic, and shooting while on a platform is even better. What is that thing down there? It looks like a 1950s robot. I'm not sure if that's a Mazor or not, but I'm just going to get some more ammo. This is the 28th fixed platformer we've played on all systems. I don't see anyone climbing the ladders to come after me, though. The first thing, though, that strikes me is this is the very first fixed platformer that has scrolling like this. it's reminiscent of games we're going to see later, you know, like Mappy and Flappy Bird and things like, not Flappy Bird, but Flappy by Sega. But this is not, those aren't out yet. This is the very first time we've had a platformer that is doing what this is doing, like scrolling around the screen. Okay, there, they did climb the ladders. Come and get me. They're not taking the bait. So we got different enemy types. I can't really tell the difference between the two. Looks like that one can transport back and forth between the levels without a ladder. That's cheap. So it is arcade style. It's just how long can you stay alive? Pick up the ammo, kill as many enemies as possible. I want to see if it scrolls up and down too. There we go, Flicky. That's the one I was thinking of. We haven't seen it yet, so I technically don't know what Flicky is. It's the middle of November 1982. All right, we have enemies down here. Joystick control works fairly well. On the ladder, it can feel a little bit like you're getting stuck or a little slow, but not really that much to complain about, considering everything else that's out there. What this really reminds me of is Infiltrate that we played on the Atari 2600. That's what this feels like, but Infiltrate still is taking place on one screen. This allows you to move around and shoot while on the platforms like this. So this is already more fun maybe than Space Panic, because we've played plenty of Space and Apple Panic clones that are out there. Oh, you can't shoot this one. Oh. I didn't hit enter in time to warp away. Oh, that's true. That's another good one. I don't think we've seen that one yet. Go, go, go. I want to see how the warp works. Wow, nice effect. TRS-80 still pleasantly surprises me. This is still really fun and enjoyable right now in the middle of November 1982. You don't need a lot of color. How many people actually had color monitors? Because we're spoiled here on Chronologically Gaming because we play everything. When we played the Microsoft Flight Simulator, not everyone was playing that in color when it came out. All right, climb. Okay, good, it worked. It was fast enough. I love that this is joystick controlled too. Big plus on the TRS-80. The perspective from the side view is cool. It also has like a temporary way to save your high scores, which is nice. But it's just, can you stay alive, don't die, and shoot as many enemies as possible and rack up the points. So it's arcade at home. This, though, the scrolling is actually, it's unique. There's nothing else that we've seen like this, and that includes even arcade games doing this kind of platform of everything else that's out there. That's awesome. So, way to go, Panic. The release date for this one is spotty, like we've seen for most of the video games. That's true. We haven't seen that either. There is no such thing as elevator action yet. Die. Didn't use a ladder? That's not fair. Oh, this enemy can't die either. Uh-oh, warp, quick. I did it. Where do I go, though? Down at the bottom. Nice, that's awesome. And it show, how many times can I do that? Is there a, is it wasting points to do that? Oh, it uses ammo. It brings your ammo down to teleport. That's cool. So yeah, it's the origins of run and gun, if you would want to think of it like that. So I love this. Very, very, very fun. So I see on the chat people throwing out video games, but we haven't seen some of those yet. Does anyone have any other games that they can think of that would be a platformer like this? There's no jumping. They're just moving around and shooting. I don't, yeah, I can just teleport. Oh, nice, I can do it on a joystick. Hold up. I don't have to use the keyboard. I was using the keyboard like we've seen with a few other games. Okay, now the ammo shows up. Go pick up some ammo spots. You can see there's 6 up there. There's an 8. Whenever you're out of ammo, you can go pick up the ammo plate. So great arcade game. Very fun. Already seen in the chat a rating for Panic, 3.5 from Paul. Very nice. Yeah, so a blast. I would want to keep playing. So it is great. Even the 2 colors, I mean, go for it. Yeah, Brad's saying of all the games we could play up to this point, 2.5 stars, 3 or 3.5. Oh, Burger Time's a really good one. Yeah, I pointed out Burger Time because that's the eponymous fixed platformer up to this point. Panic is very good though. This is fun. I would say, yeah, Curtis is saying 4 for the innovations there. I don't know if I can go. I'm somewhere in between 3.5 or 4 in the chat. There are some 3.5s there. Even some people saying average of all the games you could play across all computers. This is very well done. So I'm actually going to go. It's in between 3.5 and 4. I really can't make the decision because This game is a simple arcade game, but it's doing it very well, and there's not a whole lot that's like this right now. So it's going to be something by 1983 we'll see a lot of, but I'll go 4. Yeah, this is fun. I want to keep playing Panic, and it's a true testament to the game. So there you go. Bring it on, TRS-80. What else you got? Let's see what our next game is. We're next going to play on the Apple II. This is Pinball Construction Set. Probably not the one you think it is, because this is the very first time you would have seen Pinball Construction Set. This is the 416th game we've seen on the Apple II. And this is by Budge Co. That's right, Bill Budge is back. The 6th game we've seen by Bill Budge. He did Penny Arcade, Space Album, the trilogy of games, things like that. And Budge Co. was his own company he started. It's the 3rd time we've seen anything from Budge Co. And the other game was Raster Blaster, which is kind of like a preview of this. But this one's just straightforward. We are going to construct pinball. And the front of the first box, the original box, looked like this. If everyone's thinking of, you're showing the wrong box, this was the first one. And I know which box everyone's thinking of, by that humble little company called Electronic Arts. We have no idea what Electronic Arts is right now. So we'll see this again around sometime 1983. That's right, Paul. All right, and then you flip it over. Oh, that's the inside sleeve showing all the parts of pinball, which is a really cool touch. I like that. Flip it over the back of the box. It's the construction set with millions of pieces and tools to make high-res video pinball games. No programming or typing necessary. That's pretty cool. It shows a magnifier, paintbrush, changing colors. Its creativity shows no bounds. There's the 5 1/4 floppy disk for the original pinball construction set. By the way, you also notice Bill Budge is not in the title, because the one we're going to see later, the Electronic Arts release, his name is blazoned on the front. This one just says Budge Co. And there's an example of the screenshot of the original. And we have the original manual. This is the first time you would have seen this manual before it was picked up by that other company. This is our 26th pinball video game across all systems. 26 video games that are made to play like pinball. We do not cover mechanical pinball in the arcade. So there isn't actual pinball we played, with the exception of Baby Pac-Man, because it was kind of a hybrid of both. But here we go. Pinball construction set. How do we play this one? It is where we're building video pinball for the Apple II personal computer. It's much more than any other game utility or development tool, is what it says. Insert the PCS disk into your drive, turn on the computer, and play. It's saying you have to touch your pinball construction set. It has a video hand you control with your joystick. You move the joystick up, down, left, and right, and propel the hand on the screen. When the lever's near the position, the hand stops. Do you understand what they're describing? They're trying to tell us what a cursor is before a cursor and a mouse existed. By the way, the later version of this is going to work with the Apple II mouse. Right now, there is no such thing as mouse video games or mouse compatible games. This manual is showing us how to play with the joystick, one of the analog joysticks for the Apple II. If anyone knows if you can plug the Apple II mouse into this and play it, I'd love to know if it actually would work, because that would mean this is the very first video game that we've ever played that is compatible with a mouse. But as you can see from the manual, they keep saying joystick, so I'm not going to call this the first video game that uses a mouse. I'd love to say that, though. It explains how to drag items, picking up items and moving around the screen, how to play your pinball, how to detail things on your pinball set, how to change the world settings like increasing and decreasing gravity, the speed of the simulation, and even the wiring kit. You can go in the back and make changes to the gates. There's so many things you can do with this. The manual actually isn't that long either. It explains here how to load and save your creations, share them with friends. It's awesome. Oh, no, wait. Now, was it this version or was it the later version that you played? Because I don't know most people that I'm more familiar with the Electronic Arts release, not this one. So that's the advanced features of what you can do also with some of the snipping tools and so forth. And then you have on the pinball library what everything is and what they mean. You have to make sure you put a ball in there, for example. And when you make your own game, you can select the number of players, 1 through 4, take turns and play some pinball. All right, let's pop in and play Pinball Construction Set. Bill Budge in November 15th, 1982. Oh man, this is awesome. Yeah, I wasn't even familiar with I only knew the other version existed. You can see this one's a cracked version because most of the time I'm only getting the Electronic Arts release. All right, so this is it. The first version, it just goes in just like that. And then we're playing. Oh my gosh, the cursor feels way too smooth and easy to use. This is big. This is awesome. This whole construction idea or designing your own levels is not new to the show. We've seen map and level editors in video games. This is the 16th game we've seen that allows you to construct or make your own. Some of the big ones that we've seen have been Penetrator on the TRS-80, Starfleet Orion, Pinball on the TRS-80 Color Computer, Ghost Hunter, Pegasus 2, the Dark Castle game system, Casey's Crazy Chase, Night Mission Pinball allowed you to do some, and the big one, which I keep talking about, is the arcade machine that allows you to make your own Galaxian games. So it's not a brand new concept, but you got to admit this interface is really, really slick. I mean, look at this. This control, this feels like it would work with a mouse. I really would love to know if someone can get this to work because I'd love to call this the first video game ever to use a mouse, and the later release will, but this first one, I don't know for sure. Okay, so let's design some. Let's make a board. Look at this. I can just drag, hold down the analog joystick. Gosh, the control is way too easy and smooth. Where do I want to put flippers? Let's make it so it's a little bit harder to lose the ball down the middle. So let's actually make it go. Can I make it go lower? Yeah, make it go down a little bit further than that. And then I'll do another flipper right here. This is unbelievably easy. Ridiculously easy. And then I want to make sure that it doesn't go off the side. So let's do something like that. There we go. Wow. This feels like another level. You know what it reminds me of when we first played Eastern Front 1941, the strategy game that allowed you to very easily move around the units on the screen because this cursor and interface is beyond amazing. This is too cool. Okay, so I want to start there's our ball. Let's put the ball right here on this side. And then we also need, you got to have a spring, right? Got to do a spring. We'll put a spring down at the bottom there. And I feel like it's still going to get stuck or something. So let's get, what is this one? I don't know what that is actually. But I do want to customize this so it looks really, really cool. You can get a magnifying glass. And then you can go into a certain spot. Like if I want to go to this spot, for example, and I want to put in, let's do it all in green or something. Let's make a big C, and we're going to be we're basically drawing this pixel by pixel, but look at this. And oh, you pushed again into races. Wow. So you can do a C and say I'm done there. Get another magnifying glass and go to this spot here. And then let's do in red and do a G. And you're basically, oh, look, it even has the artifacting. It's drawing that in as well. And quit. And then you can see I did a CG at the top to kind of like sign your name on the pinball set you made. This is so cool. We of all the games we've played that allow you to edit the game or make your own map or level, this one so far is the most fun. I could see this inspiring the likes of Will Wright, who's going to end up doing SimCity, inspiring the other people that want to create and make their own games. I know, right? I should have made them a little further apart. Can I drag and move? No, I can't. I have to go in and edit it. But you can make and draw anything you want with using that magnifying glass. So cool. Okay, so let's move this, and I just want to block this so the ball can't fall in there. There we go. And let's do the same on the other side. Let's put another one over there. Too cool. It just feels like I have way too much freedom. And right now, this is a big deal that this is allowing me to do this. Okay, so I also want to have some walls or something up because I feel like the ball is going to get stuck, and I don't want to get it to get stuck on the side. And can I drag the ball and move it to a new spot too? Oh my gosh, I can. So once you place it, you can move it wherever you want after that. Gosh, that's amazing. We really don't hit on application software. So right now, is there anything, does anyone know if there's anything comparable in the just software in general world for computers, because this feels like it's something from the future. Like this is too good. I can't imagine how much time Bill Budge worked on this to fine tune this, because it's just it feels too easy to design your own. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, so once you got the base elements in place, like I didn't put everything. I can put a couple more bumpers here. Why not? And then I want to be able to make. Actually, I should do something more fun, like have some other items here, like this, and then this one here, and then you can also make it like the little flippers. I did not practice doing this before the show. I'm just doing this on the fly, just because I think it's fun that you have this much freedom to just mess around. Okay, ready? Let's play and see what it does. Ready? So you can see the physics kicked in. I haven't adjusted anything. Let's go. Oh man, look at this. Wow, and it moves smooth. Now, it's a demo mode, so you notice that it doesn't, there isn't any way to quit, or there's not any way to die, because it's just giving you a chance to test and play your pinball to see how well it works. I haven't even got any points yet, because I didn't hit it up on the side. But obviously, I had a bad placement for a few things. And it has the sound effects, too. There we go. And if you get inside that... Wow. Man, the physics might even be better than they were for Raster Blaster that he did. And it just feels more fleshed out, too. This is epic. So not only is it very, very well done video pinball, of all the video pinball you could be playing right now, but you can make it your own and do whatever you want. I totally understand why Electronic Arts picks this up and then re-releases it with that classic box later. So we'll see this again on Chronologically Gaming, but this is so cool. And then whenever you feel like, okay, that's enough, you can just go right back to the edit mode by pressing escape, and then just keep going. How do we like readjust this? No, let's not put this quite in that spot. Let's put it more like right here, and then put this one right here. It's so good. Wow. I wonder if I can stagger it like that and just have it where it rolls off the side. I also wanted something where when it comes down, yeah, I want it to come down and I can hit it. Oh, darn, I missed that. I moved that one out of the way there. Move that one back. In a way, this game feels like it's late 80s, maybe even. It's just too cool. Okay, and then let's just put some a few other random things here just for fun. I don't want to cover up the CG, though, for Chronologically Gaming. I don't even know if that would do anything. And then one of these, I don't even know what that is. Let's put that one there, and then, sure, hit it. Wow. That's fun. Yep. Okay, that placement works a little bit better. And there's so many things you can do to tweak and change it. And I love that you have all this this flexibility to make adjustments. You know, you mess around with your pinball that you made and realize, oh no, I really don't like how it's placed there. Oh man, so much fun. All right. Usually when we play a video game that allows you to edit and make your own, we talked about this when we played the Scramble, make your own Scramble games like on Pegasus 2, that I always rate it higher because it's giving you more replayability. It's not just you have to play what the developer wants. You are the developer. You're making how you want the game to be. This is awesome. So cool. Go, no. Oh, yeah, I have to clip it through to make it work. And then just go right back and make the adjustments you want. Looks like I can even make it so that whenever you play the real game, it's just going to fall through, so it would never get stuck like that. I know, right? Now is the time, because I already know what I'm going to rate this game. This game is beyond the normal of all video gamedom. the thing that sets this apart is not that you can create your own pinball, because we've seen that already. It's how well the user interface is. This user interface is beyond anything we've seen up to this point. That point and select, it feels like it should be made for a mouse, but mice don't exist right now. We haven't played any video games that use a mouse. It is fantastic. All right, so of all the games you could play across all home computers right now, Bill Budge's pinball construction set shoots it through the roof. 5 stars. And Tisky saying 5. Ooh, a 4.5, maybe 5. Yep, 4.5 or 5. It is one of the best across all home computers. And maybe you don't even like pinball, but maybe part of the fun is the game is not pinball. The game is just making stuff, and that's more fun. And then I see a 4-star, yeah, for like SimCity-ish. Yeah, I totally get you there. All right, that's Pinball Construction Set. We will see you again sometime in 1983. Let's see what our next game is. We're next going to play on the Commodore VIC-20. This is Galactic Defender. This one we just got a few screenshots for, and that's it. Let's pop in and play Galactic Defender. Ray Mitchell and the Wizard's Magic Toy Box. It is November 17th, 1982. All right, so this one just... Did it just start? It just went right into the game that fast. So this is only on the Commodore VIC-20. This is the 312th game we've played on Commodore's flagship system. The Wizard's Magic Toy Box and Ray Mitchell, this is the 3rd game we've seen by them. They did Search and Destroy and Muncher, Muncher has my vote for the scariest box we've ever seen. Of all boxes, of all video games, you need to check out Muncher and be terrified. All right, so this one is... are we already dead? We already did. All right, we'll go again. Galactic Defender. Okay, now we're in for real. I can move left and right, which feels like an Ed Averitt character on the Magnavox Odyssey 2. The whole point of Galactic Defender is to move left and right and prevent the blue aliens from getting to the bottom and polluting your planet. This is technically an arcade platformer. However, this is the most stilted of all the arcade platformers we played. It is borderline a fixed platformer because when I jump, I am so committed to my jump that I can't even move or control the trajectory. I am relying on the platform movement for where I land. That's how crazy it is. So it's like we're collecting aliens. Don't let them get to the bottom because, well, I guess don't let yourself get to the bottom either because then you'll die. But if you want to make a jump up, you have to jump and then wait for the platform to move under you. It is extremely cumbersome and very frustrating. And it makes me want to go back and continue to play Pinball Construction Set because this is a whole world of pain. Like, I can't even jump across the platform to the other side. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it is very, very frustrating because, oh, it's rough. Yeah, really rough because whenever you want to jump, you have no control. And we've already seen games where you don't, when you jump, you're committed to that jump. But this one is on another level. Yikes. All right, so this is our 56th arcade platformer that we've played across all systems. And this one, because it's like bare bones fixed platformer or arcade platformer, it actually reminds me of another game we saw in the arcade named Chaos in December 1981. But that is not doing this game justice. Chaos was actually fun. This one is not fun. This is rough. Another one that's close to or better that you could play on, or other games that are arcade platformers, on the Commodore VIC-20 we played Crazy Thief, which was a very difficult platform, but it still controlled and played better than this one. And then there was Johnny Jump It that we played on the Commodore VIC-20. The VIC-20 has had some arcade platformers that were difficult learning curves, and some of them were like the origins of what a platformer was. Johnny Jump It was one of them. Crazy Thief. On the Commodore 64, we played one called Ape Craze. And then we've also saw Knight's Castle on the Sharp MZ line of home computers. That one, same thing. It's like a rough version of an arcade platformer. It's not as smooth or as fun as Donkey Kong, but this one's on a league of its own. It still doesn't rival the worst of the worst arcade platformer. And if you've been tuning in, you know which one I'm talking about. Sir Egbert Jumper for the TRS-80 color computer is still the worst of the worst. Oh man, yeah, it doesn't come close to Chaos though, and it's not even anywhere near Johnny Jump It. So it's It's a difficult platformer, but you got to commend them for trying to do something. But at this point, we've already seen lots of arcade platformers. Of all the games you can play across all computers right now, I got to call it in the bad range. I don't want to say it's subpar because it's just not a blast to play. Yeah, so I want to say 2 stars of all the games you could play. You might get used to it, but there is worse games that you could play at this point, but I wouldn't say it's as low as, like, if you want to play something a little bit better, a notch better, Crazy Thief, play Johnny Jumpit, or Ape Craze on the Commodore 64. Yeah, looking in the chat, I see some 2 stars around the bad range. Oh, yeah, and you have to play it to believe it, James. I see a 1.5 there, too. Very nice. All right. So that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Thanks so much for joining me on the live show to play and see every single video game. We're just going to keep going. After every video game, whether it's a good one, whether it's a bad one, please come on the show or tell me in the chat what you would rate these games if you were to travel back to November 1982. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we are headed back to Japan for another new home computer launch, because I guess they don't have enough computers. The first game that we're going to play on this new computer is one of Namco's best. We will also check out a new shooter by Nufcop, and if we have enough time, we might see the ZX Spectrum's very first real-time strategy game. That's it for today, and like I always say, you have no excuse. Start making your own video games right now. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.